Just waiting for some people to come in. It's by the sewing machine. It's by the sewing machine. Mm-hmm. So I'm just waiting for some people to stop in and say hi. I don't know what is up with this curl. It just is kind of crazy today. Good morning, Ginger. Hi, Christine. So we could just kind of chat and share what we're working on since it's been quite a week. I'm working on my magical thinking shawl thing that Casapinka put out for the last local yarn shop day. And I started it last year and then hadn't picked it up since I started it. I worked on it for one day, put it down, then hadn't touched it in a year. If you hear any whining in the background, that would be my dog Ginger. She has some separation issues sometimes. Hey Ginger, you want to come sit up on my lap? Come here. Come on. Come here. Come here, sweetie. Up. Come on. You're caught in the yarn. Come here. Oh. Come here. You're okay. Oh. Come here. Come here, big honey. This is Ginger. She and our other dog Lucy have been in separation lately because they got into a bit of a tussle last week, and Ginger got a couple bites and split her pad. So I'm just waiting for those to heal up before I put them back together. Lay down, Ginger. Hey, sweetheart. Yeah, you're a good girl. You let me knit? Yeah, she likes to cuddle, but she only will put up with it for so long. Yeah, Ginger, you're good. She's going in for the ear rub. So the colorways I didn't mention that I'm using are some of my hand-dyed yarn. Do I jump down, Ginger? And the purple is Sugar Plum Fairy. The light speckle is an exclusive one I had done for the Addicted to Sock Knitting group last year called Pansy. And then this pink and black and peach speckly type, not really speckly, variegated, is Zombie Romance. I love the way that the three are looking. So, Christine, what yarn are you using for the mirror and hat? That's a very good basic yarn. Hi, Jen. Yeah, I like I use Lion Brand a lot for especially gift knits. I've used that colorway a lot from Lion Brand. It's a very nice. It's a true olive green. Used that one in a Doctor Who scarf for my brother, and it really was 12 feet long. But since he's 6'8", it didn't actually look too crazy long on him. Ginger decided to just look longingly uh, at me. Yeah, I only come up to my brother's shoulder. He is very tall, and I'm actually the shortest one in my family at 5'8". Both of my sisters are taller than me, at 6 foot. So I am fortunate that I'm not the rest of them. So what are you working on, Jen? The habitation throw is on my list to knit too. I'm working on the magical thinking shawl cowl thing that Casapinka put out last year for local yarn shop day. Hopefully, I'll get it done soon. I haven't really been wanting to work on shawls at all lately. It's been all about sweaters. But I'm trying to clear some of the projects off my needles. Yeah, I love doing mini skein projects. I have so many scrappy projects going that I need to finish at least one before I start another, which I don't know how well that will go. Because I actually started one the other day. Out of mini skeins, I had uh, been a part of the Supernatural Club that V Yarns and Ice Melon Stash had done a couple years ago now. And so I am doing the Just Feel Festive shawl from oh, can't remember who designed it, but she has the Corky Monday podcast, and it's awesome for mini skeins. Thank you. Yeah, I'm loving how it's turning out. I've just been going in order of the seasons. So there's 4 mini skeins per season that they did, and I try to make it as cohesive-ish as possible, but can't always do that. So I'm just loving the way it's turning out. Yeah, luckily I haven't been I haven't wanted to cast on uh, too many things because since I already work from home all the time, meant that it's not a huge change for me, apart from not going to the post office. I Yeah, that was normally my like one reason to make sure I left the house at least once a week to go to the post office. But even that, I'm doing package pickup. Uh, but yeah, because even last week last week I'd only left the house twice, so it wouldn't be so bad if it was warm enough to sit outside. That's one thing I really miss doing is sitting outside and knitting. So I'm kind of envious of the people who can stay home and sit outside. Mindless projects are definitely good for right now. I finished a sock the other day and I haven't cast on the second one yet, just because I haven't really felt like counting to cast on, but it'll get done eventually. Usually socks are my out and about knitting. Yeah, I live right in so I'm in Michigan, so it was actually very nice yesterday. It was in the 50s, and over the course of 24 hours, it went from I think that we hit the high yesterday in the middle of the night. So it was 56, and then by last night it was 19 degrees. So it was a huge temperature shift. And then so in the next couple days, it's going to go back up into the 50s, but it's going to bring in a lot of rain because we're at the convergence of two big weather systems. South of us is getting hammered with rain. North of us, I think, is actually getting snow. But yeah, I can't wait to be able to go and enjoy outside. Like every time I go outside, everything that comes back in the house gets disinfected. We don't want to bring anything in. I realized today that my introvert mug, is kind of ironic in a new sense now because people like you want people to stay away from you, but you also want to be by people, which is kind of an irony. Yeah, I can't wait for 60 degrees. That's uh, 60 in the 60s is actually my 60s and low 70s are my ideal temperatures because I can still wear jeans and a t-shirt without being too hot. But I I'm just sick of having to wear so many layers right now. Ginger is zonked out on the couch now. Kind of nice. Let her rest for a bit. She starts freaking out for food in a little while. But with having a split pad, she has been sleeping a lot and just trying to heal up. But we can't put a cone on her because it's her front foot, so she can reach it really easily no matter what. And I decided to leave the bandage off her foot starting last night because she ate 2 of them yesterday. She ripped all the tape off, and I don't know what it is about Neosporin that she just loves the flavor of. She wouldn't leave it alone. But it's healed up enough that she can go without a bandage, but not healed up enough to be able to walk easily yet. Was that Words with Friends?
Huh?
Was that Words with Friends?
Yeah, the advertisement.
Yeah, I'm always curious to know how much our pets understand what's going on, especially for the people who work outside the home and are all of a sudden home all day. But yeah, pets are great for helping keep you calm. It's not a very comforting time that we're in, especially with the infection rates or the positive test results coming back so high right now. So where I am, we had our third positive case yesterday, and I'm not sure what um, the numbers are today. Yep, I've just been able to keep my pretty normal schedule. Yeah, they definitely know when something's up, but yeah, they definitely like the extra attention. I've definitely been trying to keep my uh, uh, stress levels down without freaking out too much. Yeah, so the first positive case came in a couple days ago, and now it's up to 3. So that means if probably at least 10 times that haven't been identified yet. But the Khan Academy actually put out a very informative video about how they've been able to track the rate of infection based on hindsight data, which makes you want to stay home more. But it is very informative. Um, but yeah, so yeah, we've just been disinfecting everything that comes in, opening all packages out on the front porch, and it's luckily I don't know if it's necessarily luckily, but we have a lot of medical equipment for that just to help keep us safe for when we were taking care of my dad. So we have the nitrile gloves, we have disinfectant, we have just so many things because he had a very compromised, well, not necessarily really a compromised immune system, but it was anything that he caught would be devastating to him. So we had to make sure that nothing got around him. But so we're using all those leftover things we had to keep ourselves as safe as possible. But we are just staying home and taking the self quarantine seriously, which can be lonely, but luckily I'm not here by myself. And if I was, I'd probably go crazy. Oh, that must be nerve wracking having him still out of the house. Oh, that's good. Lots of space between him and the next person. I don't know how people can stand this if they live alone. It's very fortunate that he has very little contact with other people while he's working. Yeah, definitely owning your own business can be lonely because, especially if you don't have, I mean, it's good and bad because, like, with this, you really need to keep working and bringing the paychecks in because there is no paid sick leave when you work for yourself and no paid time off. Luckily, knitting can keep our hands busy. Yes, very much so. That, yeah, that too. I usually find that if I'm stressed but not to the point of like exhausted and stressed, I will tend to pick patterns that are a lot more intricate and take a lot more focus. But if I am stressed and exhausted, then I can only ever manage either garter stitch or stockinette stitch. But I still want to keep my hands busy. And I know it's really bad when I don't want to knit at all, which luckily I have not hit that point yet. So, what part of Texas are you in? Yeah, losing your mojo is really, especially at this time, it's really not good. Casting on things until you can find what kind of project brings it back. Yeah, Southeast Texas is definitely a lot warmer than the middle of Michigan. So, yeah, the perfect project can be tricky to find. I have gotten to where I have finished or come close to finishing a lot of bodies of sweaters and have a bunch of sleeves that I need to knit. Just haven't felt like casting on the sleeves. I need to do that, but I just don't feel like it. But so far, right now, this what I'm working on has been very good for the past couple days. Not even a couple days. I picked it back up yesterday for the first time. Yeah, don't I don't remember a day in Michigan over 100 degrees. We've had the heat index over 100, but not uh, the actual temp over 100. You probably have the humidity to go with that heat too. I don't know how I would react to living in those kind of temperatures, but mainly because I've never had to deal with them for more than a couple days at a time. Even when it gets hot in Michigan, like over 80, it never stays that way for longer than a week. 90s is rare. It only happens usually in end of July, beginning of August, middle August actually. Those are the worst times temperature wise here, but can't imagine it already being hot. It's just kind of snorting over on the side. Yeah, usually by mid-September, it's usually still kind of warm. Well, still pretty warm, like 70s. But September into October is absolutely starts getting gorgeous here. I mean, October last year, we on Halloween it started out in the morning with rain, and by the time kids were trick or treating in the evening, it was snowing here. So October can run the gamut of being very hot, like up in the 80s sometimes, but then you can also, and sometimes we have 80s and snow by Halloween. Yeah, I have family in North Carolina. They live in the Asheville area, so yeah, like when they get snow, like an inch, not even an inch, will shut everything down, and I think that's crazy. But I know that driving in the mountains with snow is very dangerous. But they have North Carolina has beautiful autumns. Definitely my favorite time of year. Yeah, I that people usually actually kind of really freak out with the first snow here. I don't know why. Um, it's like people forget how to drive in snow, but and like you really want to stay off the roads for the first snowfall. Not because the roads are necessarily bad, but it's like everyone forgot how to drive. But I know that a lot of places that don't get snow regularly, they don't have the infrastructure to take care of the roads for the snow, which then becomes more dangerous because there just aren't the salt trucks and the plows to handle all the snow. But like where my sister went to school, she was at Michigan Tech up in the Upper Peninsula, way at the top. And when they get snow, they don't just plow it onto the sidewalks or onto the curb like most places do. They actually have to truck the snow out because they can get up to 10 plus feet of snow a year and it doesn't melt away. Um, but I'm thankful we don't get that much down here. Uh, I'm probably about 3 hours north of the border from Ohio. And to get up to Michigan Tech, it's another 8 hours north and east, no, west, north and west from here. And so, like, you can drive for 13 hours in Michigan and still be in Michigan, which people are always amazed that Michigan is actually that big. Yeah, when I learned to drive, my mom wanted us to learn in the worst possible conditions. So we started driver's training in January, and we were learning to drive on icy, snowy roads. That way, we'd be prepared for driving in bad weather. Okay, well, I am going to sign off now. Start thinking about maybe making dinner or scrounging leftovers. Not quite sure yet, but I'm gonna maybe try to make these a fairly regular thing so we can try to keep in contact a little bit and not feel so isolated in this self quarantine world we are currently living in. Okay, well, hope everyone has a pleasant weekend, all things considered, and enjoy your evening. Bye.
How did it go?